Sergeant Kenai here reporting for duty, and last we left off in her story, we found some conflicting places and some conflicting evidence about where she could and could not have been. So one of the things that I want to look up, let's see here, what have I looked up? Have I looked up the hospital? I'm curious. Yes, I did look up the hospital. I want to look up the crash. See if there's anything I can find. Aha, more about the crash. So let's see this.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him.
That's a little weird. You should never mess with that stuff.
That people who died tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
Huh. Okay. I mean, that's kind of like, some people have dream diaries and dream journals. Like, that's often people who try and get lucid dreaming do those things. Something got me to think. I need to watch this again. Hold on, I don't need to watch it, but there is some word in here. Death. I wanted to look up death. That's what I wanted to do. All right. So I need to find a specific word. Some type of word that will let me see into what could have possibly happened, or maybe some more clues that makes her the suspect. Oh, we haven't watched either one of these.
Food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe.
So was it her parents?
They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
So her parents were poisoned, or they committed suicide, because, like her dad said, he's the one who taught her that these are bad mushrooms to eat, and somehow those mushrooms ended up in their food, and they died. Interesting. So, could she use that knowledge to kill him? But where is he missing? Did they ever find? He said he was murdered, so obviously we must have found him, right?
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed. Was still pretty sick of the STD.
What? You guys got married when you were 17.
They were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick. They'd thrown up a lot.
Huh.
And I slept through it. The police said it was mushrooms they ate. Dad was a mushroom expert. He used to take us picking with him, and he taught us how to recognize them. There's no way you would have picked death caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
What the hell? Whoa! What the hell was that? You guys saw that, right? A freaking face appeared in the background? That scared the shit out of me. I'm sorry, I'm a really big bitch when it comes to scary games, and that actually really scared me. I thought something was about to jump out and scare me, and if that happened, I would have probably logged out of the game. Alright, so I have a feeling that she poisoned her parents. Attic. That's how you spell attic, right? Interesting. There's a lot of entries about the attic.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl. A dollhouse in the attic. Old things.
So they live in their parents'
We
house?
didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time.
Yeah, I can
We
imagine.
decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
Alright, I hope no more scary fucking bullshit appears. Because if it does, I'm not gonna like it.
I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play up there and make up our own stories.
We? I'm assuming her mother? That's gotta be it. It couldn't be anything else, right?
Yes,
I read as a lot as a
that's what we
TV,
had.
the dollhouse. It's kind of fair castle. I have a feeling there's a ghost involved. I have this weird suspicion of a ghost.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
I'm really confused and very scared.
She recognised me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse.
Hannah.
She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
Okay. This is taking an interesting
I'm
turn.
not sure where the dollhouse came from. I don't know if it was given to them or they inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so huge. It must have been taken up to the attic in parts and then reassembled up there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale. Little furniture. The lights work.
This is creeping me out.
Mirrors, beds, big duvets and pillows. We spent hours and hours playing in it, invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all, passports, diaries, and gave them all
They keep
really
saying
elaborate
we,
stories.
so it's gotta be Hannah, right?
Once, a moth got trapped in there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it was tough. We ended up crushing it under a copy of the Arabian Nights.
The way she said that kind of concerns me. I want to see how to spell Hannah. I'm pretty sure it was, yeah, alright. That's all I needed to see. I want to find out more about Hannah. I feel like it's a ghost. That's a silly thing to say, but I have a feeling, man. I have a feeling.
Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea.
Wait, what?
Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
So did she... Hold on. Did she just reference herself in third person? What is this? Why did that appear there? Why is that there too? Why... It's really weird. Why is this here? That wasn't there a second ago. Anyways, go back to the attic. Like someone turned on a light? It was in this one, right? Yeah. They made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was also a dollhouse, and then her name is Hannah? Why is she that's kind of weird. Does she have a split personality?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
What the fuck is going on here? What is going on? Eve? I'm gonna have to look that up next. Is that Morse code? I'm sorry, I don't know Morse code. Is that an SOS? So she called herself Hannah? Hannah Smith. That was really weird. What day was this on? 6:30. I'm gonna have to look up more stuff about Eve.
My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Interesting.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence.
Eve and Florence.
When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
What? Oh, was this? It's the ghost! It's the ghost again! Oh my god. Please, game. Please. Why are you doing this to me? I didn't know this was a scary game. Oh god, I hate scary games. This is supposed to be a narrative. Yo, you liar! You liar, yo! You said narrative! This scary ghost is coming out, god damn it. Please, stop. Eve. Oh god, no. Oh god, no. God, no. No!
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once, and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach, and I held her head under, and I kept it under. And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
Okay. That's definitely not normal. At all. At all.
A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London, and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So
Good
they
guy.
came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
Huh. Okay, so this is a couple days later.
My mother called me Eve.
She's fucked up in the head. She's fucked up in the head. Oh man. We just found 4 videos we haven't watched that are completely unrelated and are related to twins somehow. Okay. Okay, we gotta watch these.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
Look, the ghost popped up this time, but I wasn't scared, okay? I wasn't scared this time. I'm used to it.
Are you out of your mind? Twins?
Huh.
Florence took me home with her.
I'm gonna have to look up
Mother
Florence.
hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
I think her mother was probably really affected by it, and that caused... Is that moving? I don't even want to know. I think that caused her to have a split personality.
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic.
Ooh. So she just admitted they were twins, or like
Underneath,
twins.
we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
Okay. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys ever seen To the Moon. I've played it before on my channel. And something similar happened in To the Moon. Spoilers. With someone dying and then being called the other name because of the trauma that their mother suffered. So I'm wondering if something similar happened to her. And she says we, saying that she's both Hannah and Eve. So sometimes she says me and Eve, and sometimes she says me and Hannah. Doesn't that seem a little suspicious to you? I think it's a little suspicious. I'm gonna look up something really quick before we look up Florence. I want to look up Eve Smith. Eve Smith. Dang it. I thought that would totally come up. Alright, we gotta do this then. Florence. If I could type it right. Florence? Florence. Florence, there we go. Alright. So there's a couple here we haven't seen.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing.
What about her mother? Why didn't her mother watch her?
I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road.
Her?
I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me.
There it is again. There it is. I'm getting some serious chills. The music has changed now, and I'm starting to get some serious chills. Like, I'm getting goosebumps.
Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war.
Oh, that sucks.
And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again.
Go pick her nose.
I guess it was harder, a war widow.
Yeah, I could imagine.
One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
There is something. I feel like I'm at a cave that has been cemented off, and I've begun drilling inside of it. And I'm about to find out, when I finally get through the final little piece of the wall, all of these fucking secrets are gonna start flying out. All of them. And my mind is gonna be blown. I was not expecting at all, not even in the slightest, that there would be anything to do with psychosis and twins and death and, you know, thinking that you're like split personalities. I would have never thought this was coming up. I thought she was just trying to be good, you know, trying to hide the evidence and she actually murdered her husband, but it looks like that might not be the case.
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
I have a feeling that maybe she didn't die, maybe her twin didn't die, and that one of the babies was given to the midwife because she always wanted to raise a kid, and the other one was kept at home with her mom, and sometimes they would get switched. And her mom would always call her Eve, and I think what happened, I think Eve died at some point, and then her mom took her, oh man, and pretended she was Hannah or Eve, like whatever, pretended she was the other one, the other child. Her name was actually Hannah, but she kept calling her Eve, or she thought she was Hannah. And maybe Eve actually died, but they weren't sure. Oh my god. Death. I need to look up death. I want to look up ghosts so bad. Alright, we've seen all of these. Alright. It's time for the big one. Ghost. I'm gonna close my eyes. I'm gonna search. Okay, there's no more. Okay, there's no ghost. Alright. Oh man, okay, so I think this is a good time to end the episode, but we need to brainstorm here a little bit because we need to think of topics for next episode. We've looked up Florence, we've looked up Eve. Which one of these? Hannah had a lot. We can look up stuff about the dollhouse and more about the attic. We need to be more specific in the attic. Maybe like attic doll, and then like dollhouse Hannah, or like Hannah dead, or Eve dead, because she referenced herself as Hannah and that she almost killed Eve, yet Florence calls her Eve. I think that's what it is. So she wanted a child named Eve. There's fucking something. There's something I'm missing here. There's some connection that it all comes together. I'm just so fucking close. Alright, so we have to look up more specific terms when it comes to Hannah in the attic. What was one? Places, Glasgow. We also can be more specific about Eric and married, and definitely Simon. Simon's mentioned a shit ton though. I don't think we can really get any more specific with that. I mean, we could say like little tiny things, but I want to find out more about this friggin' ghost who keeps appearing on my screen, and this supposed person who calls himself Hannah and also calls himself Eve. So we've learned that she has a split personality, and she's probably crazy. Probably. I kind of want to look up crazy. That's 2 more videos. Alright, we're going to watch these ones next episode because I think these 2, how long are they? 8 seconds. I feel like the really short ones are like one of the best because they really drag you in. Anyways, this is it for today's Her Story. Got pretty scared a couple times in this episode because of the ghost. I was not expecting that. But I will see you guys next time with many more Horror Story episodes to come. I'm Sergeant Kenai, and I'm signing out.